Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? It's Ben Sweet with the Anxiety Resolution Method, and I am really excited that you're here. You're going to have to excuse me because I've got a little bit of nasal congestion going on here, a little bit of a chest cold or something. But anyway, I'm going to give you 100% and make sure that we're moving along really well here. I don't want to hold anything back on you today. So here's the thing. First off, welcome to this special webinar workshop. I'm really glad that you're here. Now here's the thing. This is very important and it's going to change your life dramatically. I know that's a bold statement. I'm going to move along really quickly here because we've got a lot of stuff we're going to cover. But again, wanted to say I'm really happy that you're here, and let's just jump in. So in the next 45 minutes, if you're having any difficulties with anxiety or panic attacks, you're going to discover naturally and easily how these three big life-changing things are going to make a huge difference for you. So the first one, of course, is how to end your panic attacks and your anxiety so that you can feel better sooner. Second one, how to get rid of that inner craziness that goes along with the anxiety and those crazy, scary, trapped feelings so that you can be more free again right away. The third one is how to get more control over your mind and your body right away so that you can be calm anywhere. I bet that sounds pretty good. So let's just kind of get rolling along here. This is the highly effective 4-step fast track strategy for getting free of anxiety and panic attacks fast. And I'm going to show that to you right now. We're going to give it to you right now without any further delay. I also have a very special gift for those of you who decide to stick around to the end of the webinar. It's an audio and ebook valued at $97. I'm not going to get into all the special details as to why it's so awesome, but if you stick around to the end of the webinar, this gift is yours free, a $97 gift. Now this is a reward for simply taking action on this training today, taking some action and moving yourself forward away from anxiety and panic attacks. And the other part of the equation is because you deserve it, right? You totally deserve that. You do. Oh, there we are. Skip forward there. There we go. Now, here's the thing. This is not about me at all. I have to apologize. I know I'm going really quick here, but the thing is we do have a lot of information to cover, and I want to make sure that we're able to get it all in. So I want to let you know that this is not all about me. It's about some lady here standing in the canola fields, happy to be alive. This is about you learning a very simple and effective strategy that you can put in place right away to start feeling good right now. To start ending the craziness and pain of your panic attacks right now. To end your difficult and painful journey with anxiety now. So why don't we let's jump right in there, okay? So this is for you if you're currently struggling with panic attacks, you experience anxiety on a regular basis, or if it's simply a problem for you, or you're experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, or agoraphobia, all of which are forms of anxiety, or you've tried other things and they haven't worked for you, or you feel like you're out of control or like you're going crazy, or you're simply frustrated and exhausted. Now, during this webinar, you will become aware that you can overcome your panic attacks and anxiety naturally and easily without medications, which, hey, that's just the best news ever. Now, you're also going to become aware that you can get control of yourself and your life so that you can feel better about yourself and start doing the things that you've been missing out on because of the anxiety. During this webinar, you'll become aware that you can be calm anywhere and anytime you choose so that you will be able to go anywhere and do the things that you really love. During the webinar, you'll become aware that you can stop your anxiety symptoms and feel good and healthy again and stop constantly worrying about your body and your health. During this webinar, you will become aware that you can stop feeling excessively self-conscious and worrying about what other people are thinking about you. You'll also become aware that you can regain your power and feel peaceful and free once again. During this webinar, you'll also become aware that you can regain your focus and mental clarity so that you can stop putting things off and start getting more done, start getting things done again. Also become aware that these things that I'm going to teach you are easy to do, and you can do them almost anywhere without anyone knowing that you're actually doing them, which is kind of cool. And most importantly, you're going to get your freedom back. You can get your freedom back. Now, I have a promise to you. I will show you how to easily end your panic attacks and anxiety. All you have to do is follow this 4-step strategy. Again, I also have a very special audio and ebook for you valued at $97, which is yours totally free just for joining me today, and it's all yours at the end of the webinar. I also have a very special offer for you as well. Now, to easily get the most out of this webinar, please turn off your phone. The truth is it can wait, and your health and future is far more important than returning that call or text message. Close all of your other browser windows on your computer so you can focus more clearly, because getting done with anxiety is obviously extremely important to you. Now get a pen and some paper and take some notes, because you're definitely going to want to take some notes as to what we're going to be talking about today. So here's a question for you. Does this sound like you? You're frustrated because you can't seem to break free of the crippling effects of anxiety and panic attacks. Everything seems to overwhelm you or frustrate you, even just, kind of the simplest things, where you feel like your emotions are always running on high and you can't seem to control how you feel at any moment. It seems like maybe the medications are the only thing that'll actually work, or that you'll be stuck on them forever, which of course you don't want. Does it sound like you that you can't seem to figure out or nail down why you feel the way you do, or where your anxiety is coming from? Does this sound like you? You find yourself hiding from the world more and more as time goes by. I know I absolutely did that. Or, at times you just can't seem to face the world or other people. Does this sound like you? You spend most of your time kind of spinning your wheels, not really getting better, and just kind of watching your life go by. And I'll tell you, the years do fly by. And now, does this sound like you? You're desperately wanting to get a good night's sleep, but you just can't seem to calm yourself down enough to relax your mind enough to fall asleep, or stay asleep, or sleep long enough to actually wake up feeling refreshed and relaxed? Or does this sound like you? You're often canceling on friends or calling in sick because you just don't feel right. Or does this sound like you? You feel like you're stuck in the stickiness of anxiety and panic attacks. You can't seem to break free of it. Or you're just wanting to feel normal again. Or you're worried that you might never get out of this big, painful mess. Now, do you ever feel like the anxiety and panic attacks are just maybe too strong and possibly they might just kind of go on forever? I know I certainly did. Or do you ever feel like you just don't have enough power or strength to make all of this stop? Or that you can't move forward with anything serious because the anxiety just kind of has you all tied up in knots? I know for me, I would feel those knots right in my gut. Or do you ever feel like you get very easily confused or distracted and you just can't seem to get yourself together? Or maybe that you feel like you're fighting an opponent that is simply too strong for you. Now, here's the thing. These are just symptoms of your real problem. Your problem is not the problem. See, anxiety symptoms, anxiety and panic attacks, and everything that go along with all of this is not the real problem, although they sure do seem like it, don't they? They certainly feel like it. You see, the issue with anxiety and panic attacks is that they are so demanding, they are so painful, and they are so scary that they command all of your attention, convincing you that they are actually the issue when they aren't. It sure feels like that, doesn't it? Here's the thing. They are just symptoms of the real problem. So now, because they are so demanding, you end up spinning your wheels, focusing your attention, and wasting all of your time and energy on the anxiety and panic itself, because it's so demanding and it just captures all of your attention, doesn't it? Now, here's the thing. This is common and everyone does it. You have to know that this is okay. You gotta know that this is common. Everyone really does do this. This is one of the reasons why it's often really difficult to get over anxiety and panic attacks, is because it becomes the tail wagging the dog, right? Now, anxiety is simply just blindsiding, isn't it? It just steals all of your attention, right? So then what is the real issue? And we're gonna get to that shortly, and I promise you that we will, and you will naturally see how easy it is to overcome your anxiety and feel better right away. Now, here's the thing. You need the right system. You need this 4-step system. Not just coping techniques, not just visualization exercises, not just something to soothe you, and not just some random meditations or affirmations or self-talk or mental exercises. Not just a bunch of vitamins and herbs, but here's the thing. All of those can help, but they generally don't fix. And what you're really looking for is something to fix you, right? So the right system for ending your anxiety and panic attacks. Step 1 deals with the foundation of anxiety itself. Step 2 deals with the internal protection mechanism. Step 3 works with mind and body, but specifically mind to body. Step 4 deals with energy application and management. Now here's the thing. This creates permanent, healthy changes to the mind so that you can't go back to anxiety, even if you wanted to. So let's jump in real quick. Who am I? Okay, who's this guy here? Who's this funny looking fella? I live in Calgary. My name is Ben Sweet. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I love it here because it's so close to the mountains. I'm a pretty outdoorsy guy. I love camping, skiing, climbing, mountain biking, and pretty much anything that has to do with outdoors or mountain related. And I'm also a little bit of a foodie. We're having a big crab dinner here. It was pretty delicious, and it's not a Bud Light, it's a real beer. I've done a lot of world traveling and adventure seeking, and I love just kind of getting out there and having lots of fun. This is me out climbing, doing a little ice climbing, and just love it. I just love being out there, and you can imagine that I had a really, really good life, and I was a super happy guy. And the funny thing for me is that anxiety slowly began to creep into my life. And then after a period of years of the anxiety getting worse and worse and worse, I started to have panic attacks. I had my first one on an airplane. And then from there, they started to happen all the time. Now, here's the thing. Over time, it got so bad, I couldn't leave my house. There were some days when I literally could not leave the house without a great deal of effort. And sometimes not at all. Now, I stopped taking care of myself, and life got really bad, and I'm not kidding you when I tell you that I really just wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to be alive anymore. I just didn't want to be around. Now, I knew that there was a way out, and I knew that I was going to find it no matter what, even though every day of my life was nothing but intense struggle. After a few years of extremely hard work, studying and trial and error, I learned many things about anxiety, panic attacks, the human mind, and how to stop anxiety and panic attacks. So I started to help some people locally. I helped people get off their medications, and I decided that I should start to share this with the world in a bigger way. So I began to document how I did it, and I created a course. I started making some videos and writing some ebooks and different digital guides and documents and audios, and then that turned into the anxiety resolution method. The whole thing started out small, and now it's grown itself into quite a large community with thousands of members and fans. It's actually pretty neat the way the whole thing's taken off. Now, the most important thing here is that we give a shit. Pardon my French, but we truly give a shit. We will only share things with you that work. And we don't want to waste anyone's time or give you any false hope or anything of the sort. Now, I want to let you know how I created this system. Now, I've always been an insanely curious person. The truth is, I still really am. I consider myself to be a really well-read individual. Now, other than failing out of my first year chemistry twice, I have no background in medicine or science or anything like that. But here's the thing. I know how to put things together, and I know how to make things work. And then I know how to tweak things and make them work even better. That's one of my strong points. Now, I knew that there had to be some really good answers and ways out of anxiety. So I started doing some research. Now, everything I found seemed to be about just coping, and I bought a lot of courses. Not curing, not healing anxiety and panic attacks and agoraphobia. You know what I mean, don't you? None of the professionals really seem to have the answers, right? And you know what? Pardon me, like, I'm not a doctor. It needs to be said that I'm not a doctor. But one thing's for sure is that it really bothered me that I thought that the people out there who should have the answers didn't have the answers. And I got to tell you, I had a real hard time with that. I had a really hard time with that. So I dug myself in deeper and started doing some testing, and I did a lot of trial and error over a number of years. Now, the biggest thing I did was I started spending a lot of time out in the woods, and this is where I felt most comfortable anyway, away from other people. As a result of my time out in the woods, I started to observe some things about myself and how I was feeling. I started taking notes and trying different things over a period of years. I was reading and studying and learning, and I started to make some progress by pulling ideas and concepts from psychology, psychiatry, spirituality, religion, anatomy, and even neuroscience. Now, the more I experimented, the better I felt. And the better I felt, obviously, the more motivated I was to continue. And I kept trying more things and new things. The biggest thing that I did was I took action. I kept working away at it because inside me, I knew that I could do this. And I can tell you that this has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And nothing has tested me like this ever. So I know how it feels to be underneath anxiety and panic attacks. Absolutely horrible. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Obviously, I mean, there's nothing fun about a panic attack at all. Here's the thing. The right system for ending your anxiety and panic attacks. Let's just jump right in here. Step number one is the foundation of anxiety itself. Now, Carl Jung, some people may call him, he was a Swiss psychologist known as the father of modern psychology. Now, he said a few key things that we can use to help us understand the foundation of anxiety and panic attacks. The first thing he said was the foundation of all mental illness is the avoidance of legitimate suffering. Now, I'm not saying that anxiety is a mental illness, but many psychologists and doctors would certainly put it in that category. If anything, I would maybe call it a little bit of a disorder. But the truth is that disorder when you rearrange it, gives you order, right? Like it's just something that needs to be rearranged. That's really, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So that's why there's nothing magical about it. Now, another excellent quote from Carl Jung is, neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. Now, I would certainly say that anxiety and panic attacks are a form of neurosis. No two ways about it. Now, let's make it simple and say that neurosis is simply a condition of prolonged mental struggle. Now, the foundation of all mental illness is the avoidance of legitimate suffering. That's what he said. Neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. That's what he said. Now, I want to change it up a little bit. I want to change it into something that he said. I want to make it a little bit more clear, but I just need to have a quick sip of water here. Okay, maybe a big chug of water. Okay, the foundation of all anxiety is the avoidance of legitimate mental or emotional processing. Anxiety is always a substitute for legitimate mental and emotional processing, meaning that when we mentally and or emotionally process what is going on, we have no issues, and especially no built-up issues. Now, here's the thing. Anxiety and panic attacks are simply built-up issues that need to be dealt with. Now, hang on a sec here. I am not saying that we have to dredge up everything from every area of your life to get done with this pain and difficulty and this anxiety. But there's definitely some work required. There's some mental, emotional processing that's required. Now, you see, without this processing, things have a tendency to build up. Then we become more charged, right? More charged up, more quick to anger, more quick to get scared, more quick to get frustrated, more quick to get anxious, and more quick to panic, basically feeling like we could have a massive panic attack at any moment. Or maybe that's not exactly where you are, but maybe you just kind of run around, you're feeling like you're charged up all the time. You can't really slow down. You can't slow down your thoughts. You can't seem to kind of quiet yourself. And then, of course, you lay down to go to sleep. And what happens? You feel the same way. Your mind starts racing. You can't slow things down. Never fun, really. Now, here's the thing. A very healthy way of thinking about this is that you can and are able to mentally and emotionally process events, past, present, and future. So therefore, you can return your mind and body back to health. That's all there is to it. And the best part is that this is not difficult. But one thing's for sure, there is a big catch to this. Commitment. You absolutely must commit yourself to this. You must commit yourself to uncovering the root, the foundation of your anxiety. You must commit yourself to ending this anxiety and these panic attacks. You must commit to doing whatever is necessary to make that happen. You must commit yourself to the program of learning and doing every day, right? Asking yourself questions, finding the root, the foundation of your anxiety specifically. Now let's get along to step number 2, which is the internal protection mechanism. You see, anxiety and panic attacks are self-protection mechanism, and that means that we believe that by being fearful and anxious, that we are able to prevent whatever bad things could happen from happening. I want to say that again. We believe that by being fearful and anxious, that we're able to prevent bad things from happening. It's almost backwards, but this is how the internal protection mechanism works inside of us. So it's best for me to continue to be afraid and anxious so I can prevent bad stuff from happening. It's absolutely backwards, but that is the way that the ego works. That's the way this internal protection mechanism works. And now this is the hidden inner mindset behind anxiety and panic attacks. This is what keeps them in your life. It's what makes them so hard to get rid of. This is what makes it so sticky and why it keeps coming back and why it's often difficult to get rid of. You see, the anxious mind says, if I stop being anxious and having panic attacks, then the thing that I fear most will happen. It's going to happen to me. So I need to continue to be anxious and fearful and panic about things to keep those things from happening. It is a vicious cycle. So we have to change that part of the mind that believes this to be true. Now, step 3 is working with mind and body. You see, anxiety and panic attacks are born in the mind and manifest in the body. Manifesting meaning they present themselves, they show themselves, and that's why when you're anxious, you look down, you can see yourself shaking, you can see yourself sweating, you can see yourself feeling uncomfortable. Now, it's always mind to body, not body to mind. Now, we know this is true because every panic attack starts with those nasty thoughts of dread, and then it's that, oh shit, here it comes, right? And all of a sudden, you just start to feel that that rolling on. So for us to end all of this insanity and pain, we must start where it all started, in the mind, right? Obviously. Now, if you've been with me for any time now, you've likely heard me say that anxiety and panic attacks are self-created. Now, nobody ever really likes it when I say that, but this is absolutely the truth of it. Now, of course, you would never do this on purpose, but it is a self-protection mechanism. Now, meaning that when I say they're self-created, I mean that they started and they end inside of us. So therefore, we are in control of when they end because of the fact that they are self-created. So working with mind and body. But here's the thing. By first accepting that the anxiety is self-created, then we realize that we have full control to do something about it. Now, you would be shocked at the number of emails and Facebook posts and comments that I get all the time from people who tell me that this method would never work for me because I was born with anxiety. Well, you said it, brother. If that's what you believe, it'll never work. Now, here's the more important thing. If you believe something like that, you'll never, ever, ever commit yourself to a program like this to even try, right? You would never even try and commit yourself to something like this because that's what you believe. But when we come to the realization, or when we accept, or even just go out on a limb and get crazy and think about the possibility that anxiety is self-created, then now all of a sudden we have the control to do something about it. But not until then, not until then. And if you choose to come from a place that anxiety happens in your life because of someone or something else, then you are powerless to change it. That is all there is to it. If you choose to come from the place that anxiety happens in your life because of someone or something else, then you have zero power to change it. But if you accept it's self-created, then you can do something about it. You're no longer a victim to it. But maybe right now, if you can't fully accept it, that's totally okay. If you're willing to stay open to the possibility, it will surely benefit you. Now, like we said in step 2, the mind is scared to let go of fear, anxiety, and panic because it is a protection mechanism and because it expects that if it does, what it's afraid of will happen. But if it hangs on, it will prevent the worst from happening. It's this backward mindset, right? So here's the thing. The worst is possible in my world. The worst could happen to me. I have to prevent the worst from happening to me. If I fear the worst, I can prevent it from happening to me. And the whole thing just kind of keeps going around and around and around and around. Our job is to interrupt this at multiple different points. And part of the way that we do that is by eliminating these beliefs, because one belief goes to the next, goes to the next, goes to the next, right? That's kind of how the whole thing works. Now, step 3, working with mind and body. Here's the thing. You're never upset for the reason that you think. Maybe you've heard that before. It's absolutely true. You're never upset for the reason that you think. You aren't. See, the stuff on the surface is pretty much never what's really, really going on. So we have to go in a little bit deeper. Now, we do this by asking ourselves questions about what we are feeling. And we use a specific style of questioning designed to tap into the subconscious mind, which is simply a part of the mind that we're not aware of. Just a part of our mind, like it's subconscious. It is below our consciousness. So it's not what's right on the surface, but it's what's just below. And it's always surprising what comes out when we do this. And we use this in a fill-in-the-blank style questioning. This is how we work with the mind. Now, the reason I feel scared right now is blank. You answer that question. I'm feeling anxious right now because blank. I get anxious when blank happens because blank. The hardest part of my life is blank. The biggest thing I'm afraid of is blank. The reason I create anxiety is blank. The reason I experience anxiety is blank. The reason I panic is because blank. I panic when blank happens. And the point is that as you go through this, close your eyes, you ask yourself these questions, you see what comes to the surface, you make a note of it, you move on to the next one. You ask yourself the question, you see what comes to the surface, you make a note of it. You will be shocked at what comes out of your mind. You will be shocked at these answers that come to the surface. And this is the whole point. This is the whole process of everything that we're doing here, is that we're digging around in there to find this stuff. But the truth is, we don't even really need to dig around. It is right there on the surface. It's just that we never ask ourselves these questions. We never ask ourselves these really deep, meaningful, important questions to have that stuff come to the surface. Now, each answer to the previous question is an instruction to your system, to your body, and to your brain. I want to read that again. Each answer to the previous questions is an instruction to your brain. I want to go back for a second and show you something here. The reason I feel scared right now is blank. Let's make something up. The reason I feel scared right now is because the world is coming to an end, right? There you go. There's a reason right there. The reason I feel scared right now is because the world is coming to an end. Well, look at this. If each answer to the previous questions is an instruction to your system, to your body, and to your brain, you're telling your brain something right now, right? Now, we are all wired for survival. We are all wired to survive, to make it through, to live, right? Here's the thing. If you believe that the world is about to end or the world is coming to an end, you're instructing your system to freak out. You're telling your body to freak out. You're telling your brain to freak out. You're telling your brain to go into survival mode and as opposed to growth mode. You can't be in growth and survival at the same time. So, example, you ask the question, the reason I feel scared right now is because I have no control over my emotions, right? All of a sudden you realize this is your unconscious mind telling you that you have no control over your emotions. You believe that you have no control over your emotions. Now, these instructions are why you get anxious. They are why you panic. They are what make you feel crazy. They are what make you have all these symptoms and these insanely strong emotions. The thing is, all of this is a lie. Now, obviously, we have no choice but to get rid of these lies, right? And obviously, I mean, if you want to get your freedom back, you've got to get rid of these lies, right? So we can put some new instructions in there and feel better about things. We can feel stronger, we can feel calmer, we can feel more peaceful, which is the whole point of what we're doing here. Now, this is what moves us away from anxiety and panic. Now, here's the step 4. Energy application and management. I know this is a bit of a busy page here, but stick with me. Now, if you haven't already done so, you need to go watch this video at some point after the webinar, not right now. Just go over here to the anxietyresolutionmethod.com, anxiety free report original grounding video. Now, if you're already a member of the Anxiety Resolution Method community, then you've already seen this. Now, if this webinar is your first experience with us, then signing up for this webinar will have triggered an email to you with a free report. Inside that free report, there is a link to this video here. You've got to go check out that video. It is mandatory learning, mandatory understandings to help you move beyond anxiety and panic attacks quickly. And it's also the core of this entire method. Now, in this video, I will show you a technique that you really need to get really good at. It is a life-changing grounding technique that will blow your mind. Now, this technique helps you to create a state change within yourself, meaning that it will move you out of anxiety all by itself. And now it literally works to end panic attacks. If you're in the middle of having a panic attack and you simply do this grounding technique, your panic attack will stop right then and there. I swear to you, every single time. But you have got to get good at the technique. You've got to practice it. You have to know what you're doing so that as soon as those anxious feelings start to come, you can just start to ground, and all of a sudden, the volume on the anxiety will go down. The volume on the panic attacks will go down. And all of a sudden, you'll just be able to sit there and you'll be able to go, wow, I have the ability to stop my panic attacks and anxiety right here, right in this moment, all by itself, right there. It is phenomenal. Now, it is also the key to boosting your energy to help you get rid of those unwanted lies that tell you to panic, right? That's kind of level 2. Level 2, the first part is you can stop it right in the moment. Level 2 is this stuff here changes things in your mind. Now, the next step is to integrate the grounding with the lies from step 3. Now, those lies that we talked about, obviously, are those things that are not necessarily true, right? So do the grounding and repeat the phrase until you no longer feel an emotional pull coming from the lie. This reduces the emotional pileup from step 1, right? You see how all these steps fit together in a perfectly synergistic system. Now, as you reduce the emotional pile, you simply feel better and you feel less anxious and less like panicking. I mean, it just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Now, here's the thing. As well, repeating the phrase works to remove the old and or install the new. So use it for healthy instructions that you want to have in your life as well. Now, that is the exact system that I've used to help myself and others out of anxiety. And this is a healing and life-changing approach, and you've got to treat it that way. You have to take the time to learn it, to use it, and to apply it daily, or better yet, moment to moment. And here's the thing, it works and it works very, very well. Let's do a quick little recap here. The right system for ending your anxiety and panic attacks. Step 1 deals with the foundation of anxiety. Step 2 deals with the internal protection mechanism. It's the reason why you think it makes sense for you to be fearful and angry. Step 3, sorry, not fearful and angry, fearful and panicky. Step 3 works with the mind and body, but specifically mind to body. Step 4 is energy application and management. Now, this creates permanent, healthy changes to your mind. Very, very healthy changes to your mind. So that, here's the thing, you couldn't go back to anxiety even if you really, really wanted to. You believe that you have no control. Okay, so let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, but let me ask you this most important first question. As soon as I can get this thing to get working here. Why are you not working? I don't know why you're not. There we are. There we are. Would you like my help to implement this system in your own life? Would you like me to help you implement this system in your own life? Would you like the help of someone who can guide you out of this mess of anxiety and panic attacks? Here's the thing. See, your life is getting shorter and shorter every day that goes by. Your lifetime is far more valuable than money. It's far more valuable than anything else, right? We're talking about your life. It is the ultimate currency, your time. Now, every day with anxiety is just one more day in that terrible, confining prison when instead you could be free, right? And I bet you would simply prefer to be free, wouldn't you? So here's the thing, because things are so valuable, because your time is so valuable, your life is so valuable, you don't waste another valuable day swirling around unnecessarily in anxiety. Just don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. If you follow the wrong system, you will continue to suffer in pain for years to come. That's just the nature of it. That is simply just how it goes. But if you follow the right system, you will get free sooner and feel awesome starting right away. Now, you simply must invest in yourself and in this fast-track system step by step to truly get the most from this synergistic strategy that will get you out of anxiety and get you your freedom back. Or you can figure it out yourself like I did and spending years living with constant anxiety and panic attacks to figure this stuff out. Or maybe, you might not figure it out and you might still be struggling in a year and 2 years and 5 years or 10 years, God forbid. Now, here's the thing. You can easily get help from someone who is where you want to be, someone who has paid the price, someone who can help you shortcut the process out of anxiety and panic attacks and back to your freedom. Let me help you change your life. Let me help you do that. Let me ask you another question. What do you want your future to look like? Do you want it to be full of anxiety or do you want it to be full of freedom? Now, this is about your future. That is what we're talking about here right now. How do you want your future to feel? How do you want it to be? And how do you want to live now and in the future, right? These are things that you need to be thinking about right now. Now, this is about your family's future, your kids' future. This is about what your life is going to look like in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, all those things. So what do you want it to look like? Do you want it to be full of anxiety and panic and craziness like it has been? Or do you want it to be full of peace and happiness and joy and calmness and abundance where you can feel good about yourself and feel good about your life and do the things that you've been wanting to do for so long? Here's the thing. This is your life. It's happening right now. You do not get a do-over. This is it. Right now. So don't put your hope into a bunch of different things that you read randomly in some books. The thing is, you need a proven, fast-track, step-by-step synergistic system that will work for ending your anxiety and panic attacks so you can get your life back and feel free once again. Now, what the anxiety resolution method and the biweekly anxiety basher coaching will naturally give you is an excellent return on investment. It is going to help you leverage the success of someone who has done it and someone who knows how to teach you how to do it. It's going to help you access the answers and solutions to your problems so that you can get moving along faster. It's going to give you focus. It's going to help you keep you on the right path. It prevents time and energy wasting because, hey, you've got a big life to live and anxiety simply has to go. And now, at this point, you have a choice. You can keep doing as you're doing, getting the same results, more panic and more anxiety and more symptoms, or you can stay where you are. You can keep struggling with the fear, pain, and craziness, living daily with poor sleep, poor health, and a fearful outlook on your future and present, or I can easily help you, and here's how it works. You must be willing to do some work a little bit each and every day. I mean, the truth is that, whether we're working together or we're not working together, you got to be willing to do that anyway. I mean, anxiety just doesn't go away on its own. It doesn't just kind of, you wake up one morning and all of a sudden it's gone. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, you've got to put the effort into getting it gone from your life, right? You have to be committed to making a change so that the results can happen for you. This thing's not flipping again. The entire training is dedicated to getting you out of anxiety and panic attacks very quickly, because this is what you most need, right? You must be willing to invest at least a very small amount in yourself and in your life and in your future. Now, you will go through the exact same successful training that I put myself and other clients through to end their anxiety and panic attacks. You can expect to get results fast and have major breakthroughs. Not one, but many major breakthroughs. And this is important because these breakthroughs are where you will see how the anxiety and panic is stuck in your life and how you can get it out. Now, during the program, you will naturally become aware of where your anxiety truly comes from, and therefore be able to focus your efforts there to get maximum anxiety elimination in the shortest time possible. And this is important because everyone's anxiety comes from a different place. Yours is unique to you. So we will find this together, and I will help you nail this down so you can get free. Now, here's what you get when you invest in the anxiety resolution method and the biweekly anxiety basher coaching videos. Right now, as a special webinar promotion, you get access to the Anxiety Resolution Method course valued at $357. You'll also get the biweekly Anxiety Basher videos, transcripts, and exercises valued at $97 per month. You'll get 21 critical anxiety questions answered. Now, most people who suffer from anxiety and panic have questions that simply need answers. And in many cases, just having answers to these questions is enough to calm the mind and help you to feel better. It'll help you to understand the nature of anxiety and why it's easier to get done with it than you think. Now, this is valued at $47. The top 7 coping techniques for anxiety and panic attacks. This book was compiled to provide the necessary emergency techniques when anxiety gets really high or when panic attacks are looming. Now, you will find this helpful to bring you down when you feel like your head's about to explode. Now, these techniques are quite valuable at bringing you back to reality when anxiety really takes off, and it's valued at $26. The Anxiety and Panic Attack Q&A, Volume 1. Now, this is a rare collection of questions that were asked by members of the Anxiety Resolution Method community. Now, I've personally fielded them, giving the best possible answers. Now, this takes understanding to a whole new level specific to your anxiety. And this is valued at $119, and you get the audio as well as the transcript. Now, breaking anxiety's grip on you. You should already have a copy of this, but if you haven't, I've included it in the back end for you as well. This shows you the grounding technique and opens you to the concept of anxiety creation. This helps you to understand how it got there in the first place. You need a copy of this. There's no two ways about it. This is valued at $29, and we've added that to the back end as well. Natural Anxiety Helpers. Now, this book houses a large variety of options for natural supplements, foods, minerals, vitamins, and homeopathics to ease your state as you learn to melt your anxiety away. I personally used many items in this book to help me out at times when the anxiety was really high and very uncomfortable. Now, some of the items in this book are extremely powerful for relaxing you in a matter of minutes, so you can get on with the day and simply feel better about things. This rare collection of powerful natural anxiety helpers is not found in other places. Therefore, it's valued at $57. Now, if all this did was reduce your anxiety by only half, would that be worth it to you? Like, wouldn't it be worth it to you to jump in and give this a try? Now, the Anxiety Resolution Method and the Biweekly Anxiety Master Coaching is the step-by-step anxiety elimination strategy. This is going to help you get your freedom back faster. It will help you to know how to avoid ongoing anxiety and panic symptoms. It'll help you to ensure you have the right knowledge and confidence to always do the right thing. And it will help you to turn your current pain into freedom. Now, here are a few additional things that you can naturally expect from the Anxiety Resolution Method and the Biweekly Anxiety Basher coaching videos. 1, increased self-esteem. 2, increased self-confidence. 3, increased sense of personal freedom. 4, increased sense of health and well-being about yourself. 5, increased control over yourself, your life, and your world. Increased hope and mental clarity so that you can begin to see the world and yourself from a more peaceful, relaxed, healthy state. Now, you've probably started to become aware of how easily this powerful step-by-step system can naturally transform your life to one of unlimited, infinite freedom, far beyond where you're currently living today. Now, as you learn what is taught in the course itself, it causes you to move out of pain and anxiety and into a place where you can easily become aware of your own ability to end the anxiety and panic attacks. It really is that powerful. Now, with everything that's been said here, you truly have to consider this as your freedom and your life depend on it. What is it truly costing you to stay where you are? To continue to live your life with the pain and struggle of anxiety and panic attacks? How is this affecting your family? Is it pulling it apart or drawing you away from your family members? I mean, you do not want to lose your family, obviously. How is this negatively impacting your job, your business, or your career? How many days or weeks of work have you missed? You know, if you get paid only $100 a day to work, 10 days is $1,000. Now, did you know that anxiety is the #1 reason that people miss work? Now, if you are in sales or if you have your own business, then you already know that this is costing you large sums of money because you just don't feel like making it happen or going for it. Which, of course, you know, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, if you don't feel like it, it doesn't happen, right? It doesn't bring the bacon in. Now, it's fair to say that anxiety is easily costing you a substantially larger sum of money, such as $10,000 to $50,000 in lost revenues because you don't feel like going for it. Now, how is this hurting your relationships with your children? I mean, I don't mean to poke the pain here, but you know, like we really have to be asking ourselves these questions in regards to the anxiety. When your children grow up and are gone, do you want them to remember you as someone who was always struggling with anxiety or someone who overcame their challenges? Now, how much damage is this doing to your physical health? If your physical health slips, life can get really expensive really fast. You know, hospital visits cost between $8,000 to $12,600 per stay. Those numbers are from 2011. And the older you get, the more it costs. Now, what is this doing to your relationship, right? With your mate, with your partner? Is it pulling you guys apart? Most married people have no idea how much it costs for divorce or how draining and painful it can actually be. You know, average estimates for divorce are between $15,000 to $30,000 on the low side. Now, how much is it hurting your friendships and your social life? You know, as the years go by, you will value and treasure your friends more and more. However, these relationships require your input or they simply fade away. Now, no one likes losing friends, obviously. Now, what is this anxiety and panic doing to your mental health? Have you lost those feelings of being strong and healthy? Are you concerned that maybe they won't come back? What about your confidence? Has it been shattered? You know, many sufferers feel like a shadow of their former selves. Are you feeling like this? The reason I ask is because it's common, right? It really is very common. Now, how much worse are you willing to let this get before that you decide that it's time to do something about it? Before it's time that you say that you simply need some help with this? How bad does it need to get? You owe it to yourself to ask this question. You really, really do. Now, you are now aware that you, and only you, can do something about this to get beyond your current painful circumstances. You can easily and naturally make the decision to get your freedom back, to get your life back. And you can do that now. Now, to recap, quick little recap here. When you invest in the anxiety resolution method and the biweekly basher coaching videos, you will get freaking thing's not working again. You will get the anxiety resolution method course valued at $357. You'll also get the biweekly anxiety basher videos, transcripts, and exercises valued at $97 per month. Total value there of the two of them together is $454. You'll also get the critical anxiety question answered, valued at $47. The three of those items combined together gives you a total value of $501, but that's not all. You'll also get the top 7 coping techniques valued at $26. Those 4 items together is a total value of $527. But guess what? Yep, there's more. You get the anxiety and panic attack Q&A Volume 1, which is valued at $119, to give you total value of $346. I think there's a bit of an error there with calculation. That you're also going to get a copy of Breaking Anxiety's Grip on You, which is valued at $29, to give a total value of $627. Now here's the thing. If this was all you got, it would be completely worth it. But that's not all you get. You also get a copy of the Natural Anxiety Helpers, which is valued at $57. A total value of $732. Total value for you today in US is $732 for all of these things all together right now today. Total value for you, $732. Your investment in yourself, the investment in the anxiety resolution method and the biweekly basher coaching videos is $97 to get you out of this place that you know that you don't want to be. But because you're on this very special webinar, I'm going to knock off $96. I know it sounds absolutely absurd, and let you in for only $1 today to try out this completely risk-free. That is a 98.96% discount. I was going to round it up, but decided not to. Now, your investment in yourself is one single small payment of only $1 today to try this out for 30 days, and then after that, it's $19 a month. Plus, I want to take away all the risk from you so that this is a very, very easy decision for you to move forward. You will get a 100% money-back guarantee for 30 days. You know what? Let's make it 60 days. We'll do a money-back guarantee 100% for 60 days right now. Actually, let's do it 90. Let's make it 90 days, 100% money-back guarantee. I want you to be totally satisfied. And I'll tell you what, actually, let's do 110% money-back guarantee so that we can be guaranteed that you are 100% satisfied with everything. That's right, I'm going to give you an extra 10% for the hassle of trying out the course, trying out the coaching, and not necessarily liking it. And I want you to keep the entire program and all the bonuses for free just for trying this out. This is how confident I am that this program is going to work for you. I don't want anything getting in the way of you making this critically important decision to finally move forward with this and get rid of your anxiety. Stop trying to figure this out on your own. Just jump into the system, start getting free of your anxiety and panic attacks now. You see, the problem now becomes if you leave without taking me up on this amazing one-time $1 offer, you're going to simply slip back into your old habits and end up staying in anxiety and panic attacks. If you want change, you will need repeated exposure to the entire system. You can either settle with what you have now, which is where you are with the anxiety and panics, or you can break free and feel awesome again. The choice is totally yours. Look, just make the small $1 investment. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, just email me. I will give you your money back plus 10%. And after all, you have this program in your hands. You can just start to say goodbye to anxiety and say hello to a whole new life without anxiety. Now, for me, I made this as inexpensive as I possibly could so that more people can take advantage of it. I could have easily charged 100 or even 700 times what I'm currently charging, but then here's the thing, less people would be able to afford it. So to get it in your hands now so that you can take advantage of this amazing offer, I kept the price really low. Now you know it's time and you've got nothing to lose. Now this works and you honestly should not even question it. You should just move on with the decision and get free from your anxiety and panic attacks. This will give you the certainty that you are looking for. This will help you spend more time living versus swirling around in anxiety and panic. I know how it feels. This is just rotten. Now, this will help you save your time and your money and your life. Now, it doesn't matter if this is all new to you, and it will still work for you. Now, inside this program, there are many little priceless little secrets that most gurus simply don't want you to know. Now, these secrets will help you to make you stronger, more happy, more calm, and less anxious. If all you find is just one small tidbit of information in this system that helps you out, wouldn't it be worth spending $1 on yourself? Wouldn't it be worth it? You'll also learn why you are currently sabotaging your own efforts to end anxiety and panic attacks, and you likely don't even realize that you're doing it. This system is guaranteed to change your life. Now, you might be thinking that this won't work for you because your anxiety is different, or your situation is different, or anxiety is hardwired into you, so it simply will not work for you. Now, I'm here to tell you that all of those things are total BS. They are total bullshit. Pardon my French again. It doesn't matter what situation you are in. It doesn't matter if you were born right out of the womb with anxiety or what you believe to be true about your anxiety. It can be beat with this strategy, 100%. But if you never try, you will never get the opportunity to know this for yourself. This is your life right now with anxiety and maybe panic attacks or agoraphobia. I know it's terrible and it's a rotten way to live, and you know it. And this is what it could be if you simply move forward with me now and try this program out. More peace, more calmness, a relaxed body and mind, the ability to be and go anywhere and feel good about it. Now, if all this program did was help you even just a tiny little bit, wouldn't that be worth it for $1? Like just $1. Now look, just click the button below to get instant access now, or you can go to anxietyresolutionmethod.com/$1. It's your time to naturally and easily move beyond your anxiety and get your life back. anxietyresolutionmethod.com/$1. Click the button below to get started right now. You have two choices. You can either move forward now and get free from anxiety and panic attacks, or you can keep struggling with anxiety and panic attacks, and months or years from now, you'll still be struggling. Or you can break free right now by clicking the button below or going to www.anxietyresolutionmethod.com/$1. Now here's a couple of frequently asked questions. Does this really work? Will I actually be cured? Can all this happen quickly? I've been suffering for a very long time. Is this a scam? Will this work for me? Can I trust this Ben Sweet guy? Well, does this really work? Yes, it absolutely does. There's no leap of faith required. The background for this method is sound and based on the brain's anatomy. This isn't witchcraft. We're simply making changes inside you, and these changes will take you away from panic and anxiety and towards you being and feeling better and more free, more powerful and capable of handling anything. Will I actually be cured? Yes, I get emails from people who have struggled for over 30 years and have them tell me that this is the most effective thing they've ever done for their anxiety. Now, everyone suffers in different ways and for different reasons. Your reasons are specific to you. Once we find those reasons, we simply apply the method to those reasons so you can let go and feel better. And this is what being cured means. Now, the length of time that you have been suffering is not indicative of how long it takes to get done with anxiety. However, everyone heals at a different rate, and some people are more motivated than others, therefore they will put more work in. But the more you apply yourself, the faster this will happen for you. You can expect to have massive breakthroughs. That's what this is all about. Can all this happen quickly? I've been suffering a very long time. Anyone and everyone that does this method in earnest has massive breakthroughs. It really is that simple. Now, let's say that at the end of a few months, you still have some anxiety left, which may be the case, and that's okay, because you now have and know how to use a surefire method for getting rid of anxiety and panic attacks. All that's left is for you to continue to apply it until this stuff is gone from your life forever. Is this a scam? No, it's definitely not a scam. This is a highly effective step-by-step course specifically tailored to you to get you free of anxiety and panic attacks. Now, for me to even be able to accept credit cards online required a lot of work on my part before I was even able to bring this to the public. I have no desire to jeopardize that relationship with PayPal, my payment processor, as this is my passion and my desire to help other people. Does this really work? Will this work for me? Yes, it will. This works with everyone who has a brain because it's focused on the brain's anatomy. And because of the way that anxiety and panic attack are wired into your psyche, we simply need to make changes in there, and it is the same for everyone. Can I trust this Ben Sweet guy? Well, the truth is that I can't answer that question for you. You're going to have to find that out on your own. And if that means investing $1, well, guess what? There you go. It's $1. Give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, I'll just give you your money back. Just send me an email. Now, this is one you're going to have to decide on your own. However, I would suggest that you don't let your doubts get in the way of you making this very important decision to end your anxiety, because you and I both know that this simply can't go on forever. Now, I want to tell you a quick story. One sunny day in Calgary, it's often sunny because we get a lot of sun here. I was sitting at home and it was during the height of my anxiety and panic attacks. I decided it was time to venture outside, which I hadn't been doing much lately, which again for me was pretty difficult to do at the time. And I had trouble stepping off the curb in front of my house. I was just so terrified of having a panic attack and so terrified of the world collapsing in on me. Anyway, I decided that I had to get outside myself, take a tiny bit of an exercise, and go for a walk around the block. Just one block. That's it. So there I was, slowly walking around the block, which if you're housebound, you know how hard this is. Being so afraid that that the worst is about to happen at any moment, and you have no control to stop it. So I got to the exact halfway point, and then I started to sweat. My mind started racing even faster than it was. I started to freak out that I would not be able to get home, that I was and all of a sudden right there, I was having a big panic attack. I stopped and I started shaking and I was literally losing my mind right then and there. In that moment, I was so afraid that I would not be able to get home that in a moment, I realized how irrational my mind was behaving. All I had to do was put one foot in front of the other, and that would be how I would get home. I learned a lot that day, and the biggest part of what I learned, I turned into this program because it is so effective at ending anxiety and panic attacks. And here's the thing, it is totally your time. You just got to click the button below to get instant access now, or you go to www.anxietyresolutionmethod.com/$1. It's your time to naturally and easily move beyond your anxiety and get your life back. Go now to anxietyresolutionmethod.com/$1. Click the button below to get started now for only $1. That is it, folks. That is the end of our webinar. I hope you're having an awesome day. It is definitely in your best interest to take me up on this offer and free yourself from anxiety. It's only $1. Let's get going. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.